So what I would like to do today is to demonstrate to all of you that you don't need to be a member of the educated elite or possess the intellect of a Mark Zuckerberg to be successful. When I look back on my own career and I look back at those around me, and we also hire a lot of entry-level students, and as John said, I actually brought a couple of my colleagues that are doing quite a bit of recruiting right now. We have about 67 open requisitions in Santa Barbara and across the country. But there's two traits that really stand out and that I have learned to live by over the 20 plus years that I've been in business, and that is humility and confidence. And typically those two traits don't sit together. But when they do, they can be absolutely, incredibly powerful. So what I'd like to do today is share with you 3 stories from my own career and from that of others, and really help you, hopefully, when you leave UCSB to really stand out. And whether you choose to stand out in working for a company or you choose to stand out in terms of pitching venture capitalists, I think these 2 traits will definitely and can apply. Then, following the 3 stories, I'll definitely tell you a little bit more in terms of Commission Junction as an affiliate marketing company, technology, obviously competing against the likes of Google, and some of the things that we're up to in terms of online advertising, and obviously being a very hot space and an ever-evolving space. So I'll definitely end it there, and we can definitely take some questions. But the first story that I actually wanted to share with you was the first time that I had ever come to Santa Barbara. As mentioned, I started at BeFree in '99. As John mentioned, we got acquired by ValueClick, which is currently and still our parent company, in about 2002. And ValueClick actually proceeded to acquire Commission Junction, which at that time was our closest competitor in 2003. So over the course of 2004, 2005, we actually merged BeFree and Commission Junction together. We dropped the BeFree brand name, we dropped the platform, and it just became all one company of Commission Junction. So it was in about 2004 timeframe that I made my first trip out to Santa Barbara to visit the Commission Junction offices, to meet a lot of the folks. And I actually came with a colleague who we'll call Craig. And as soon as we crossed the threshold to the Commission Junction offices, it was immediately apparent to me that he and I had 2 very different agendas for the trip, because I did not see him that entire week. So that week I spent just trying to shake as many hands as possible, get to know as many people as possible. Commission Junction at that point in time had a very different philosophy about affiliate marketing than BeFree did. I was very curious in terms of why they chose that philosophy, how effective it was in the marketplace. They also had a segment of customers that we hadn't been very successful with to really learn. And again, so I got invited out to drinks and dinner and just met a lot of really great people. Well, I later learned that Craig pretty much spent his entire week in the executive arm of the Commission Junction offices trying to demonstrate his own expertise to the executives, who at that time were Jeff Pullen, who is still local here to Santa Barbara, and tell them what he knew and what he thought his place should be within the company. Not exactly a lot of humility. So let's just say that Craig was no longer employed with us about 6 months later. So when the Commission Junction executive team actually came into, I'll say, power, for lack of a better word, over that of BeFree, and we started reporting into Jeff Pullen and the rest of his team, Craig was no longer. And I tell that story because I see it time and time again in business. And you'll quickly learn, whether it's your own company or you're working for somebody else, the only constant in business is change. And it's happening every day, every week, every month. But I'm still surprised by people's resistance to change. Digging in their heels, worried about themselves, get extremely territorial, versus embracing that change and having the humility and confidence to not feel threatened by others, but instead look at it as an opportunity to be able to learn from others. How can we make this a better company? with better people who may have different skills than some of us. And I recently applied my own advice actually late last year because ValueClick actually acquired another company by the name of Datomi. And they're a Chicago-based company, and I actually had the privilege of being part of the due diligence process. So we went in there and scoped them out, obviously understood their technology, their services, their people, and I really took the same approach. Hey, new company, new people, new platform, new technology. This is really a great chance to learn and to make ValueClick a better company. Well, I have to tell you, I'm so glad I took that approach because I am now reporting to the president of Datomi because he was recently promoted to the COO of ValueClick. So just lesson learned in terms of just being very open. And I'm not sure what's going to happen to some of the peers that may have taken a different tack or a different approach. So again, embracing change and having the humility and confidence to do so. So don't be scared. I see it way too often. And we're doing a lot of reassurance right now, even within Commission Junction, now that John Giuliani is the COO and he's now responsible for Commission Junction. And I get a lot of those questions. Well, what does this mean for me? No, what does this mean for Commission Junction? This is an opportunity. Second story I wanted to share as it relates to humility and confidence is that actually of my daughter, Peyton. She's 9 years old, and like most parents, we have enrolled her in a slew of activities over the years. So we've done soccer, we've done tennis, we just completed the softball season, and I have to say and admit to all of you here that it was incredibly painful. She sucks. There, I said it. She is just... but you know what? That's not the painful part. The painful part is my husband and I are sitting in the bleachers, and I'm looking out in the field, and there's this one. You know, it's like, okay, fine, just kneel on the ground and pick up the grass. I feel better about that. But the lack of engagement, I'm not sure exactly what she's looking at, but she's not looking at the pitcher, she's not looking at the batter, she's not even looking at me. I have no idea. And I'm punching my husband's arm, like, look at that, why are we here? She's not engaged. This isn't her passion. And my husband laughs at me because it's like it's become the mother's mission to find Peyton's passion. And it's become this cliche, right? And you've probably heard it as college students time and time again. Find your passion. You will be successful if you can find your passion. And I guess I have a slightly different take on it because as I talked about earlier, when I was growing up in high school and in college and even after college, I was convinced that my passion was sports marketing. I wanted to be in sports. I grew up playing sports. I was always around sports. I wanted to be in sports marketing. That's how I wanted to apply my skills, and therefore that's what I was going to focus my entire career search on. But if you really break it down, I didn't want to do sports. And it really wasn't until I landed at Be Free at the age of 27, 28 years old that I really understood what my passion was. And when I started at Be Free and started working with clients and I started working with teams of people and I started thinking back to my childhood, it's like, oh yeah, I like getting up in front of people. I like presenting to clients. And I used to like presenting in front of my 7th grade class back in the day. I like managing people, just like I liked managing class projects back in the day when I was 9th, 10th grade. That's what I like to actually do. So really understanding and breaking down that passion and really redefining exactly what you want to do and what you like to do. I didn't want to do sports, and I have no doubt now, and looking back, that if I was sitting and analyzing and watching spreadsheets all day long in an awesome sports marketing firm, that I would be absolutely miserable. So I'm telling you this, and that's why I'm so fixated on Peyton and trying to find her passion. And admittedly, I have her signed up for literally about 20 camps this summer of all varying degrees of activities in search of trying to find something that she loves to do. So not getting so fixated on, oh, it's got to be a specific vertical or it's got to be a specific category. It's what do you like to do? You know, not all of us are as brilliant and genius as Mark Zuckerberg and know that we'd like to start programming, you know, at the age of 10 or 11, or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. But the rest of us, we do have a passion. It's just figuring out and defining that and really realizing what you like to do. So hopefully most of you know that already, and it doesn't take you until your late 20s to find it. But I mean, I know people in their 40s that still have not been able to find that. But maybe they're focused on the wrong thing. So don't make the same mistake that I did up until my late 20s. So my last and final story before we talk a little bit more about Commission Junction and some of the opportunities. And when I was initially preparing to come speak to you all, I was thinking about the importance of communication and being able to really effectively articulate your ideas and really getting other people to follow those ideas. And again, whether it's a new product or service that you have invented, you're trying to get money for, or whether it's working for a company and trying to lead a group of people. But the more I thought about it, and I have to say I've already learned from my new boss in this regard, it's not so much about communication. And one of our former presidents, LBJ, has a great quote in this regard. It's really about conviction. Conviction convinces. And it's really a segue into that passion. You know, part of the reason that Commission Junction is the #1 affiliate marketing provider is because I have a lot of conviction. Jen here has a lot of conviction. Isabel has a lot of conviction. And it's not so much that our technology is so much better than our competitors, but we have a lot of great tenure within the company, and that great tenure comes with great passion. And so when we get in front of customers, it's about having that conviction. So again, whatever you decide to do, whether it's your own product or your own company, make sure that whatever it may be, that you can possess that conviction, because it sells like nobody's business. And we actually just sat through an all-day training session with our new boss regarding Datomi and some of their new products. And John Giuliani has conviction when it comes to Datomi. And all the salespeople left that meeting all rah-rah about Datomi and selling that. I said, well, don't forget about selling affiliate too, but conviction. So again, humility and confidence. So critical to whatever career you may decide to pursue, whether that's as an independent, as an entrepreneur, or working for a company. And I don't see it enough. Your ability to learn from others and embrace change, your ability to really have the confidence to be able to redefine or define your passion and pursue it, and then also being able to really use that to speak with conviction.